Some people scroll through social media every day, but never post anything themselves. No photos, no updates, no stories. And most people assume the reason is simple. They think it's insecurity, or fear of judgment, or a lack of confidence. But the psychology behind why some people don't post on social media is much deeper than that. In many cases, it has nothing to do with being shy or socially anxious. It has everything to do with how certain minds process attention, meaning, and exposure. To understand this, you first need to understand what posting on social media actually represents to the brain. Posting isn't just sharing content, it's entering a social evaluation space. Every post carries silent questions. Who will see this? How will they interpret it? What will they think about me after? For some people, those questions barely register. For others, especially introspective or overthinking minds, those questions activate a deeper mental process. This is where the difference begins. Psychology shows that some people are not less confident, they're more context-aware. Their brain doesn't just see a post, it sees consequences, interpretations, and long-term impressions. So instead of asking, "Do I want to post this?" their mind asks, "What does this say about me?" That shift changes everything. Social media rewards speed and visibility, but introspective minds prioritize accuracy and meaning. They don't want to post something that feels incomplete, misleading, or misrepresentative. They want what they share to be true, aligned, and intentional. And that creates friction, because social platforms are built for expression, not reflection. Another reason people don't post is because they experience something called imagined audience pressure. Even when no one is actively watching, the brain assumes they are. Friends, old classmates, co-workers, strangers. The mind starts simulating reactions before they happen. This leads to over-evaluation. Is this too much? Is this too little? Does this look fake? Does this look boring? Does this invite misunderstanding? For highly perceptive minds, this process happens automatically, not because they choose it, but because their brain is trained to anticipate social feedback. Over time, the easiest way to reduce that mental load is to not post at all. Not posting becomes a form of regulation. There's also another layer most people don't consider. Some people don't post because they don't want to perform an identity. Social media often pushes people to become a version of themselves that is consumable, a highlight reel, a simplified narrative. But not everyone experiences themselves that way. For people with complex inner worlds, compressing their identity into a post can feel uncomfortable. It can feel inaccurate. They may think, "This isn't the full story," or "This doesn't really represent me." So instead of participating, they opt out. Not because they have nothing to share, but because what they have can't be easily reduced. Another overlooked reason is emotional memory. Some people remember negative social feedback very clearly. A post that didn't land, a comment that felt dismissive, a moment of silence where they expected connection. Those moments may seem small to others, but to a sensitive mind, they're stored as data. The brain learns. It starts associating posting with exposure, disappointment, or misinterpretation. And once that association forms, avoidance feels safer than expression. This doesn't mean the person is fragile. It means their brain adapts quickly. There's also the issue of value alignment. Some people don't post because they don't see social media as meaningful connection. They may enjoy observing, learning, or staying informed, but not broadcasting. For them, silence isn't absence, it's selectivity. They prefer depth over visibility, quality over quantity, private conversations over public validation. In a culture that equates posting with presence, this choice is often misunderstood. People assume silence means disengagement, but often it means intention. Another factor is internal versus external validation. People who rely heavily on internal validation don't feel the same reward from likes, views, or reactions. Their sense of worth isn't amplified by visibility, so the motivation to post simply isn't there. This doesn't mean they lack confidence. It means their reward system is wired differently. Posting feels neutral or even draining rather than exciting. And finally, there's awareness. Some people are deeply aware of how quickly content is judged, categorized, and forgotten. They see how fast attention moves, how quickly people scroll past. So they ask themselves, what's the point? Not in a cynical way, but in a reflective one. They want what they share to matter. And when the environment doesn't support that, they choose silence. If any of this sounds familiar, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind is cautious with exposure, selective with expression, and intentional with identity. In a world that rewards constant output, restraint can look like fear. But often, it's discernment. Instead of asking, why don't I post like everyone else? A better question is, what does my mind need to feel safe expressing itself? For some people, that space is in public, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be visible in the same way. If this explanation helped you understand yourself a little better, you're not alone. This channel explores the psychology behind quiet behaviors, hidden patterns, and misunderstood minds. You don't have to subscribe, but if you care about understanding how your mind works, you'll probably find something here that resonates.